Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today, we're going to dive into the life of a very important woman. She was a painter who lived in Mexico and is famous for her unique self-portraits and strong spirit. Her art showed her feelings and her struggles, and she became an icon for many around the world. So, get ready as we explore the story of Frida Kahlo. Chapter 1. The House in Coyoacan and Early Beginnings. Frida Kahlo was born on the 6th of July, 1907, in the famous Blue House, Casa Azul, in Coyoacan, a quiet neighborhood in Mexico City. Her full name was Magdalena Carmen Frida Kahlo y Calderón, but she later dropped the E from Frida. Her father, Guillermo Kahlo, was a German photographer who had moved to Mexico. He loved his camera and was very kind. Her mother, Matilda Calderón y González, was of Spanish and indigenous Mexican heritage. She was a strong, religious woman. Frida was the third of 4 daughters, after Matilda and Adriana, and then her younger sister, Cristina. The family home, filled with plants, animals, and art, would always be a central place in Frida's life. Chapter 2. The First Sickness, Polio. Life changed for young Frida when she was only 6 years old. She got a terrible disease called polio. This illness was very serious and made her stay in bed for 9 months. It affected her right leg, making it thinner and shorter than her left. People sometimes called her Frida Pata de Palo, wooden leg Frida, which hurt her feelings. To help her leg get stronger, her father encouraged her to do sports like swimming and boxing, which were unusual for girls at that time. Frida, with her brave spirit, tried her best to hide her limp and live a normal life, but the effects of polio would stay with her forever, influencing her body and her art. Chapter 3. A Bright Student and New Friends. Despite her physical challenges, Frida was a very clever and curious child. She went to good schools and was eager to learn. In 1922, when she was 15, she entered the National Preparatory School. This was a big achievement because it was one of Mexico's best schools, and only a few girls were accepted. Frida planned to study medicine there. At school, she became part of a group of bright students who were interested in politics and art. They called themselves Los Cachuchas, the cap wearers. In this group, she met many young people who would become important artists and intellectuals in Mexico. It was also here that she first saw Diego Rivera, the famous muralist, who was painting a mural at the school. Chapter 4. The Tragic Accident. On the 17th of September, 1925, when Frida was 18 years old, her life changed forever. She was riding a bus home from school with her boyfriend, Alejandro Gomez Arias. The bus crashed into a tram. It was a terrible accident. Frida suffered very serious injuries. Her spine was broken in 3 places, her collarbone was fractured, her ribs were broken, and her right leg was shattered. An iron handrail also pierced her body, going through her pelvis. She was close to death. This accident caused her immense pain and led to countless operations and health problems throughout her life. It was a moment that divided her life into before and after. Chapter 5. Bedridden and the Discovery of Painting. After the terrible bus accident, Frida had to spend many months recovering. She was in a hospital for a long time, then confined to her bed at home, wearing full-body plaster casts. It was a very difficult and lonely time. To help her pass the hours and cope with her pain, her mother made her a special easel that allowed her to paint while lying down. Her father also put a mirror above her bed so she could see herself. This is how Frida started to paint. She painted herself because she was alone so much and knew herself best. Painting became her way of expressing her feelings, her pain, and her inner world. She had no formal art training, but her unique style began to form. Chapter 6. Love, Marriage, and a Tumultuous Relationship. When Frida was strong enough to walk again, she decided to show her paintings to Diego Rivera, the famous artist she had seen at her school. She went to him for an honest opinion. Diego was impressed by her unique and powerful work. He encouraged her to continue painting. Soon, a strong connection grew between them. Despite their 20-year age difference and her family's concerns, Frida and Diego fell deeply in love and got married in 1929. Their relationship was intense and passionate, but also full of challenges, betrayals, and many separations. Their love for each other and for art kept bringing them back together. Chapter 7. Life in the United States and Personal Sorrows. Soon after their marriage, Frida and Diego moved to the United States because Diego had commissions to paint murals there. They lived in cities like San Francisco, New York, and Detroit for several years. Frida found life in the U.S. different from Mexico. She painted important works during this period, often showing her feelings of being an outsider and her longing for her homeland. Sadly, during this time, Frida also suffered several miscarriages and therapeutic abortions. These experiences caused her deep emotional and physical pain, and she often painted these sorrows, like in her famous painting, Henry Ford Hospital. These personal tragedies became central themes in her art. Chapter 8. Return to Mexico and Artistic Voice. In 1933, Frida and Diego returned to Mexico. Frida was happy to be back in her beloved Coyoacán. Living in Mexico reconnected her with her cultural roots, which became even more important in her art. She started wearing traditional Tijuana dresses, which became her signature style. Her paintings blended realism with fantasy, often using bright, bold colors and symbols from Mexican folk art. She painted self-portraits, her physical suffering, and her complex relationship with Diego. Her art was a way to explore her identity, her mixed heritage, and her personal pain. It was during this period that her unique artistic voice became very clear and strong. Chapter 9. Growing Recognition and the Surrealists. By the late 1930s, Frida's art started gaining international attention. She had her first solo exhibition in New York in 1938, which was a great success. She then traveled to Paris for another exhibition. There, she met famous European artists like Pablo Picasso and Marcel Duchamp and the surrealist leader André Breton. Breton admired her work and called her a surrealist painter. However, Frida did not see herself that way. She famously said, "They thought I was a surrealist, but I wasn't. I never painted dreams. I painted my own reality." Even so, her unique style captivated many, and she became a recognized artist in the global art scene. Chapter 10. Endless Pain and Unwavering Spirit. Despite her growing fame, Frida's health problems continued to worsen. She underwent many more surgeries throughout her life, over 30 in total, on her spine, legs, and feet. She often had to use crutches, then a wheelchair, and wore special corsets to support her back. The pain was constant and often unbearable, yet Frida's spirit remained incredibly strong. She continued to paint, even from her bed, finding strength and expression through her art. Her work from this period, like The Broken Column, vividly shows her suffering, but also her incredible resilience and determination to live and create despite everything. Chapter 11. Final Years and Her Last Exhibition. In the early 1950s, Frida's health declined very rapidly. She was often in and out of hospitals. In 1953, Mexico finally held her first solo exhibition in her home country. It was a hugely important event for her. Although doctors told her she couldn't leave her bed, Frida insisted on being there. She arrived in an ambulance and was carried on her bed to the gallery. She greeted guests from her bed, laughing and singing. It was a testament to her vibrant spirit and determination. Sadly, in 1954, part of her right leg had to be amputated due to gangrene. This was a devastating blow for her, bringing more pain and sadness. Chapter 12. Legacy. An icon of strength, identity, and art. Frida Kahlo died on the 13th of July, 1954, in the Blue House, just days after her 47th birthday. The official cause was a pulmonary embolism, though some believe she may have taken her own life due to her extreme suffering. Her death left a void in the art world, but her legacy grew immensely in the years that followed. Today, Frida Kahlo is not just a famous artist, she is a global icon. Her art is celebrated for its unique style, its honesty about pain and passion, and its strong connection to Mexican culture. Beyond her paintings, Frida is admired as a symbol of strength and resilience for women, for people with disabilities, and for anyone who has faced adversity. She embraced her identity, her mixed heritage, and her unconventional life. Her art continues to inspire millions around the world, reminding us to be true to ourselves, to find beauty in our struggles, and to express our unique stories. The Casa Azul, her beloved home, is now a museum that welcomes visitors from all over the world, keeping her spirit and her incredible story alive. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed learning about Frida Kahlo. If you'd like to improve your English while exploring more fascinating stories, be sure to subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.